and get ready, as usual, to cancel those subscriptions to White Supremacy Weekly, to Eurocentric Mindset. Made some iced tea with agave nectar, which is a lot healthier than sugar and a lot sweeter. I'm telling y'all, this healthy alternative lifestyle is the answer, especially for my melanated brothers and sisters out there. You know, we got to take care of ourselves a little better on the inside and the out. Now, forgive me if you see me looking to the side a lot. My laptop screen is completely shattered, completely. So I have the HDMI cord hooked up to the TV here. Ta-da! So that I can see what's going on. Completely see what's going on because I can't see a damn thing on the screen. Not a damn thing. In fact, I'm gonna help this out a little bit. Try to move this closer so that it's maybe not as obvious when I look to the side. Excuse me, I kind of should have had this taken care of already, but it is what it is. Better? Better? I'm not looking way left. I'm just looking slightly left. And people don't like direct eye contact anyway, so maybe it is best that I look a little to the side. I don't got lazy eyes, not cockeyed, I don't have astigmatism. I just can't see on my laptop screen. Anyway, so hopefully by the end of that, your subscriptions have been successfully canceled. And as usual, Black love, pride, and power to my people. Today, as usual, I have a tendency of talking about topics that are not always understood or accepted immediately by the people who are not ready to receive this information yet. So I'm really going to hope you cancel that subscription before we start talking about the Oppression Olympics. Yep, that's right. This is a term that I've heard frequently over this past school year here at Washington State University. And it was always brought up by either mixed people who are mixed with minorities or by minorities. And I started thinking about it and I was like, you know what? I hear all their thoughts and opinions on this. How about I share this from a Black perspective? Because I don't hear Black people talking about an Oppression Olympics. And maybe I can shed some light onto why not. So, first off, the Oppression Olympics is a competition that Black people don't belong in. Like, this isn't our Olympics. We kind of can't even participate because it'd be like, this is going to, think of it in reverse. Realistically, it'll be said in reverse, but I'm just going to say it how it'd be in comparison to strength in the competition. It'd be like it'd be like about 3 or 4 6-year-olds racing against Usain Bolt in the 100-meter dash. It'd be like I don't know, what's another Olympic game? What's another summer Olympic game? I don't know. It'd be like some South Central Little League team, you know, in basketball playing against Kobe and Shaq simultaneously with MJ as their coach or some stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? It's just not right to put us in this competition because there is no competition. Not as in, like, it's just not existing or whatever. It's just, it does not make sense for us to be put into these Olympic Games. It doesn't. Simple. Because, and this is one of the main points that I always struggle with other minorities about, there is absolutely no comparable struggle to the struggle of the African people. continentally and diasporically. There's not. There is absolutely no comparable struggle at all. This is not to say that other minorities do not struggle. This is not to say that fucked up shit has not and does not happen to other minorities, but it has just never been on the scale of what has and continues to happen to African people. Period. There's no arguing about it. You can't compare us to the Jews. You can't compare us to the Native Americans. And first off, the Jews are European, and you know I used white tears to make my tea this morning, so I can't. Europeans, what they do to each other is their business. I'm specifically talking about minorities, African, Asian, and Hispanic people. There are, of course, ethnicities underneath those three races. So, you know, Filipino, Chinese, Japanese, Mexican, Guatemalan, Ecuadorian, Ghanaian, Jamaican, Black American. You see what I'm saying? It's just, clearly we're all underneath there and whatnot, but the point of the matter is, those three minority groups, for Native Americans, although Native Americans have been considered to be Asiatic diaspora for a while, but just for the sake of continental structure, we'll throw the Native Americans in there separately from the Asiatic struggle. Now, for the point of what I'm saying is, yes, the Asians who, especially the ones who got mistaken for Japanese, who were not and whatnot, did have to deal with internment camps and being shipped off to war, etc. for a period of time. Yes, that was horrible. The Native Americans were literally wiped out and whitewashed, and they done been through some serious shit too. And if anybody has anything to say about an oppression Olympics, the only people who have who can exhibitionally compete, I guess, would be Native American. But the point of the matter is, even still, the Native Americans have not been through what African people have been through. They've been through some shit, and I'm not saying they haven't, and I'm not saying that it's not all fucked up or whatever. I'm not saying that it's not absolutely horrible, because it is, but it's still not comparable to what has and what continues to happen to African people. Hispanics, diasporically, and even the ones here in America, they didn't have to deal with some shit too. I get it. It's fucked up. It's still not comparable. So instead of putting African people in this oppression Olympics with other minorities, don't. There's no competition. And I'm not bragging or saying this like, oh, you know, no competition. I'm saying this as in, it sucks. It sucks. I wish it has not been so horrible for my people that we could compete in the oppression Olympics and have a piece of an argument maybe, but it's some whole nother level shit with African people. Period. There's no arguing it. There is none at all. There is no way to argue the fact that there is no comparable struggle to that of the African people. You know, and the reason why it is important not to fall into the traps and say, oh, well, you know, Black people, it's the oppression Olympics, and you guys just, you know, try to compete to see who's the most oppressed, and, you know, we're all people of color, we're all minorities, da, 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 da. Pause. Simply because there is a habit, especially here in America, with not dismantling, but with diluting, that's the D word, with diluting the struggle of African people, and with diluting the problems of African people, to to take attention away from it. When you say people of color, and you're talking specifically about a Black person, but you continue to call them a person of color, you are taking away the individual needs of that person and the specificity of that person and the unique identity of that person of which you are referring to as a person of color. For example, I was in a whiteness studies class this past semester, and I was talking about problems unique to African people for an assignment. And my teacher kept trying to correct me and say people of color. I'm like, no, specifically African people. I'm not talking about minorities in general. I'm talking about African people specifically. We have unique needs, we have unique issues, we have unique everything, and it needs to be paid attention to. Even with the term minorities, in the I think it was the Reagan administration, they came up with the term minorities so that they can take away from the uniqueness and the specific needs and owings to African people. They said, okay, you guys aren't going to be relentless. Fine, we'll give you a little something, something, but you have to share it with everybody else, even though you need your own. You see what I'm saying here? And I find it interesting because other minorities were silent during the African struggles until we got called minorities, until the African struggle, the benefits that would come from the African struggle would benefit other minorities. That's when they were quick to say, okay, yeah, we're all minorities, we gotta stick together. When it was just us going through the shit, and there was no beneficial reason for you guys to join us, you were, and I think that's understandable. You have your own struggles, your own unique needs and whatnot, your own things going on. It's not your business to have to worry about the struggles of another group of people. It is ironic, though, that it is supposed to be Black people's business to worry about the struggle of everybody, but it is not other racial groups and subgroups business or duty to worry about the struggle of African people until it benefits them. They're trying to say that, oh, we're just trying to compete in the oppression Olympics, and even just calling us people of color or just calling us minorities in general when you're specifically talking about African people is, to me, very similar to saying all lives matter. When a Black person is talking about their struggle and I hear another minority say, oh, well, it's not the oppression Olympics, we have to deal with shit too. It's basically, to me, it's saying, fuck how you feel. Yeah, you're going through shit, but we all going through shit, so oh well. And that's not the case. We need our specificity. We need our identity, and we need to be recognized as a unique individual group of people with unique needs. The way I see it is this, is like, and this is, again, the analogy is going to sound very all lives mattery, but this is from the minority, the umbrella of being minorities. This is what African people deal with. You have some Mexicans in the hospital with, a cut on their arm. You have some Asians in the hospital who, well, actually, you have some Asians in the hospital who have a cut on their arm. You have some Mexicans in the hospital who broke a leg. You have some Native Americans in the hospital who got shot, and then, but got shot. I'll say in the kidney. I think that's a serious place to get shot. And then you have African people in the hospital, literally on their last breath of life, with the arm missing, a leg missing, shot twice, and then got punched in the eye. And we all know how hospitals work. There is a priority based off of emergency. And we'd be a damn lie to not say that Africans are in a serious state of emergency. A serious state of emergency. So when the Hispanic or even the Native American or even the Asian person comes up and it's like, oh, yeah, I would like to be seen. And then, of course, you have the nurse like, okay, give us a minute. We'll see you eventually. But the eventually for them is sooner than the eventually of the African person. And the African person's like, hold up, there's a line, there's a line based off of necessity to this. And then you have, the Hispanic person or the Asian person or the Native American person talking about, oh, this is not the wounded Olympics. It's not about who's injured. We're all injured. We all need help. Yes, this is true. We all need help. But your little stab wound, you can get some stitches. You be all right. You got cut on I don't know, your thigh or something where you're not gonna die if you got cut there. You know, for the broken leg, you need some attention. You do, but you can wait a bit longer. You know, for the shot to the kidney, yeah, we gonna need 2 doctors in this bitch. But you can survive a lot longer than the person over here who stepped on the African over here who stepped on a landmine, got everything all blown up and stuff, and on top of that, caught a couple of bullets in war, and then some asshole when they came back from war decided to punch him in the eye. Does anybody else see how this sounds? Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna wrap it up soon. African people have African problems. Continentally and diasporically, we have our own unique set of needs. We have our own unique set of issues. And that's not to say that we should not and cannot work with other minorities to get liberation. However, our fight is our own. The most we can ask other minorities to do is either A, stay out the way, or B, choose the right side when shit hits the fan. I do strongly believe that when African people, continentally and diasporically, reach true freedom and liberation, that subsequently every other ethnic group, every other minority ethnic group beneath us or above us in this white supremacy system will also see liberation. Simply because of the fact that they're used and they are used, it's factual, they are used in helping with the oppression of African people, but also their struggles are subsequent struggles of our struggles. It's like African people are the umbrella and minorities are underneath it. When we get the sun to come out and we can close the umbrella, you know, or send the umbrella off in the wind or whatever, every other umbrella, every other minority beneath it will be seeing sunny skies as well. And this is not to say that, and this is especially, let's get this clear, African freedom and liberation does not mean we're on top of this supremacy system. It means that this supremacy system will no longer be existent again, and the world will go back to people will go back to doing their own thing in their own respective places, etc., etc. So the fact that there is no struggle like the African struggle means that, and especially because the liberation of African people subsequently means the liberation of, I damn near say, the world. It is more important, especially now than ever, for other minorities, instead of trying to use the umbrella that they're under to get personal gain, even if it means stepping on the backs of African people, to actually truly do what it means to support us in our fight for liberation. Because if we win, I promise you we all win. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So I know this video went a little over, but I hope you guys stayed to watch to the end. As usual, I'm coming at you with the hard pills to swallow and the things less chitter-chatted about, but hopefully you've gained some insight from what I've said and some understanding. Of course, feel free to comment below. No trolls. I've just had enough with trolls for the whole 2015, first half of 2016. I can't deal with trolls no more. So if you're gonna go on my comments, start talking about bullshit, just pause, deep breath, write it in your journal. But if you have genuine questions or want to start a genuine dialogue, I would love to hear what you guys have to say or think about my viewpoint on this subject matter. This video has been the Oppression Olympics. And as usual, y'all, remember to cancel those subscriptions. Black love, pride, and power. And yeah.